We're in the magnificent Red Line on Slater Street, cornered up against Duke Street. You'll find it easily enough just down from the Merchant. I've said before, you'll go a long way before you find a better quarter square mile of bars anywhere in the world than what you've got here. It is the absolute business. There's St. Peter's there, there's the Munro there, there's the absolute... You've got it all, don't worry.
Just. The Merchant's good. So
the Merchant's really
Spanish
good.
Caravan's
excellent as well. Just you can go on.
Solid 6 out of 10's those guys.
You can go on as it goes.
Solid 6 out of 10.
I would say I would describe it as an undignified mess so far. I've got James Sutton, I've got John Milburn. It is Friday night, and we are with our friends at Erdinger. I just think that the more good bars in the area, the more customers for everyone.
It's great, love it.
It's what we want. It's the energy that we're looking for.
Car dealers do, don't they? They put themselves next to all of the good competition.
Hairdressers
You're looking for a car,
barbers
you come to see
do it,
yeah.
Local convenience stores do it,
Bees do it.
everyone do
Let's
it.
fall in love. It is your Friday night. We're in fine form because Liverpool have beaten Atletico Madrid and there is a Merseyside derby on the horizon. If that doesn't get your blood pumping while you rob Gutmann, how scared are you of Saturday?
Not at all, Ian, Neil. Do you know what? After yesterday, I'm more encouraged. The more I've dwelt on yesterday, the more encouraged
So I want to do this up the front. There's a lot of talk, obviously, because it's the fifth last late winner that Liverpool have got. It's the third time they've surrendered a 2-goal lead over the course of the season.
That's the more important thing.
But I don't know, I think they played well. Yeah. Over the course of the 90 minutes, I thought Liverpool played really well.
Atletico Madrid are like a super-powered Everton. Right. If you think about it, they're like the World Super League. They're the Super League Everton. If you like.
Damning with faint praise.
Well, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Praising with damnation.
Yeah, but they're the team that's sort of, nasty, don't want to play against them, but ultimately horrible. I'm not being unfair on Atletico Madrid, but I came away thinking of if we can absolutely best them, and we did, quite frankly. In a parallel universe, they got beaten 4 or 5 there. I mean, at two, when the penalty gets given for 20 seconds, you're going, fuck me, this is going to be funny, this is going to be Atletico Madrid finally totally humbled. And the narrative that they fight their way back like they do the plucky soldiers is a little bit bullshitty and self-serving, because they get a goal out of context, no pressure, nothing breakaway. It's our fault that we switch off a bit, and it just shouldn't have stood. I'm sorry.
I agree. I don't think either of them should have stood, really.
I don't know about the second one's a fluke. I mean, it's a lovely hit, but it's never going in.
But Soloth's just stood offside as well.
On the second one? I haven't seen that.
He's in front of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's stood offside in front of the goalkeeper.
And do you know what I think their next best chance was? And I watched it back this morning and went, fuck me. I'm glad I was as scared as it looked then. The very last thing of the game. Yeah. Soloth heads it straight at Alisson, and you go, that could have been a better header, and we'd have had a very different story today.
Yep. By the way, your analysis of those chances concurs perfectly with StatsBomb's expected goals.
Does it?
Yes, Soloth's was the most valuable chance that Atletico Madrid created over the course of the game. It was absolutely spot on. And this is why, James, you look back, what you were seeing with your own eyes is backed up with the numbers, number of shots, quality of shots, chances, possession, every bit of it. Liverpool were the better side, but also, I just thought they were dangerous. They were dangerous in almost everything they were doing, and that's why I'm feeling good about this one in a way that maybe I was made up to have stolen one away from Newcastle. But there was still a bit in the back of my mind saying, come on, Liverpool, let's not be daft here.
This felt like a real step forward, I thought, especially in the first half. I mean, attacking-wise, I thought there were moments of like genuine brilliance that got you out of your seat. There is a slight issue, and I wonder if it's because we rely on our attackers to defend as much as they are to attack, that maybe there's a slight issue somewhere along the plan with the fullbacks and stuff, in that we are conceding a few weird goals and a few shitty chances that we ordinarily wouldn't be doing. But the head and shoulders above the opposition last night, and individually as well, I thought there was some really nice work. Again, that midfield is just so fucking sexy. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai together, it's scintillating to watch.
And Wirtz.
And Wirtz as well.
But they're in tandem now more as the three, I thought. When they were coming out, it was great to watch. You thought, they're very close. And on the transitions, as we now call counter-attacks, I thought we were sensational. I mean, the Ekitike miss is actually terrible, but so Salah's as well. I mean, those are goals there. When people talk about assists and things like that.
Oh, when he hits the post?
Yeah, it's a terrible. It's a bad miss by anyone's sense. He
hits the inside of the post, though, it is defense.
Yeah, it's a miss. But Ekitike's is messier.
The funny thing, I want to say that the funny thing
is...
The
assisters will be annoyed.
If you're right-footed, you strike the ball the way Salah struck that ball onto the inside of the post, it spins in.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as the spin that he generates with his left foot hitting it at that pace. It spins in because it is inside of the post, and it's because of the like if it's gentler, there's a chance it
if he takes 15% off the power, that's in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I'm not damning Salah for that.
No, it's fine. It's worth saying.
It was a brilliant move, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. You know who squares it? Florian Wirtz squares it, does he?
Yeah, it's in the end. Wirtz knocks it off,
and then Salah
Szoboszlai's toe because there was two of them there, and then there's Salah to arrive.
And then Salah squares it for Ekitike superbly later on, and Ekitike makes a little bit of a fist of it. But, you know, we were sensational, I thought, on those counter-attacks. But all the way through. Do you know what I was thinking about? I know we're going to keep talking about the narrative, and they're coming back from 2 goals down, the third time it's happened. We're having to win most of those games late because we've been pegged back. But I don't know, forget the XG of the chances across the games. Those are the only chances they're having. Bournemouth against us. Okay, by the time the ball's at Semenyo's foot, it's a high XG chance. It's the only 2 chances. I tell you what, you give any team those kind of counters, game in, game out. You've got the ball on the edge of your own box. You're breaking well, and admittedly they were like 4-on-2 at one point or 4-on-3. You're just not scoring them. Out of 10 times that happens, you know. So they were defying the XG of the counter attack on that particular. So then you go to Newcastle. There's a plucky thing by 10 men, but the chances come out of context. They're not. There's no pressure. There's no other shots on goal.
We're under a bit more pressure at Newcastle. We do feel a little bit under the cosh at times.
But
I don't think.
But the goal that goes 2-1, I think, comes a bit from nowhere. They've had a couple of minutes of set piece based pressure, and then it comes through, and then we go. You know, John, I'm just sort of with them. I mean, that's fine, and that those games have gone now for me. Those games are over. The games that matter, I think, are the ones that, you know, obviously that we now have in front of us, or the one that we had last night, because, you know, last night I thought Wirtz was excellent. I thought you really got to see him play some good football in there. You could see who he was linking up with and how he was linking up, and it was the first time we got to see Isak. And for me, the most impressive thing for Isak wasn't that he plays quite well. It was that I felt like every 10 minutes he got better.
Yeah. I think when we've been appraising Wirtz throughout the season, and I think every single game has proved to be really challenging first 4 Premier League fixtures. Like they've all been uniquely difficult challenges in lots of different ways. And let's not pretend Saturday could be a walk in the park. It's unlikely to be a walk in the park. I'd love it to be. It's going to present itself as being a different challenge from what we've had so far. One of the thoughts on my mind last night I was watching the game was, I wonder if we're a Champions League team. You know, in a way that we just
especially in the first half.
The competition just seemed to be more suited to the kind of obdurate work we've had to get through in the league so far. And like yourself, I was getting a bit carried away. This could be 3, 4, 5. We were so excited in the first half. Wirtz seemed to have a lot more space to operate in. His creativity was paying off more. He's in his 4th or 5th game with his teammates. They're being able to anticipate him a little bit better. He's able to anticipate them a little bit better. But then all the excuses I've made for Wirtz do not apply to Alexander Isak. He does not need 5 games to find his feet. He needs fucking 5 minutes. And he was unreal last night. And as you said, every 10, 15 minutes, he would go up a level. I heard pre-match he was getting 45 minutes, and then he came out for the second half, and he carried on getting better in the second half as well. I think his feet are so quick. Yeah, unbelievably fast.
It felt like he'd slotted straight in as well. It didn't feel like, oh, there's a new player that everyone's kind of figuring out. It felt like he was part of the
I wonder if we've been training with him for 6 months and nobody saw Newcastle because he looked.
He was training in his garden at home.
They've all been at like Mossacall or wherever he's been staying, and all been playing in the garden with him. I think absolutely.
He's had loads of local kids running around.
I don't know what it is, but he did not look like he was struggling getting with the pace of the game or anticipating what his teammates were going to do. And he looked really, really sharp.
I thought Frimpong as well was really impressive last night.
Really love
Frimpong. I said to my dad, I think we're going to love this lad. I think we're going to fall hopelessly in love with him.
He's rapid.
He's good, you know, but he's intelligent. You know,
there was the one that Wirtz nearly finds him with, where he's trying to help it on, and it never really comes to fruition.
They get each other's way.
They get each other's way towards the end of it. But that was, you know, there's loads of little bits like that, Rob, where he's able to arrive into the box. He was leaping onto men so that they couldn't get out. He was excellent.
Yeah, and the more you watch him, his quality with the ball is there all the time. I think it was easy to sort of, when he walks through, to go, he's just going to be a flyer, and maybe he's going to be Jeremy Doku playing at right back, you know, but he's much cleverer than that. You see the quality. I mean, the quality of his cross he forces the penalty, doesn't he, the other day? And it's not the first good cross he's put in. I don't think we've seen enough of that in his game so far. I'm fascinated to see if they do try him in a front three at times as a winger, as Holland do. I actually think, I know we've sort of debated whether he can do that or not, Neil, but and I sort of was sympathetic with your view that let's not get carried away. He is ultimately a right back, but I just want. I know, and by the way, we haven't seen much evidence of that to change that, but I just think there's an intelligence in his game.
I think he plays a right-sided winger. He's just not a right-sided forward. This is all this is.
He wouldn't come yet.
I wonder if in extremists that might be the case, Rob. You know, in a game where you've made some substitutions and you've only got a certain number of personnel available to you, and we're chasing a goal, he might go up in those circumstances.
I think
whether or not he'd start, he's got real versatility. I think he's got all the attributes.
He's a change off the bench.
He's only wee as well, isn't he?
I mean, that's one of the issues, though, is that it's how weak can your team be?
Yeah.
If you've got Virgil, you've got Salah, you've got McAllister, some Liverpool and Kirkers as well. Liverpool are going to have an eye on. But that said, thought he was excellent, really exciting. I came away from all of them, John, really impressed with. There wasn't anyone on the pitch. I thought the midfield too worked really well together. I think that's the best Liverpool have played in a game without Alexis McAllister since the 1st of January 2024. I've looked this up. That's the last time Liverpool, when they beat Newcastle 4-2. Liverpool were great that night. McAllister didn't start. I thought they were brilliant there. Those two really worked well together.
Yeah, I think the midfield, to me, last night was the best balance I think we've had. And I think Viet had... I felt at times Viet had the liberty to go wherever he wants, pop up on the left, pop up on the right, and Sabozz likewise. And he's having an incredible season, isn't he?
What's that 5 man of the match performance? Joint man of the match performance.
Absolutely, and I think in his I don't know which game he first played as full-back, he was making some strange runs like the first 10-15 minutes. Although he doesn't know how to play full-back, this guy. How wrong I was. Once again, Milburn is completely wrong about watching it. But I thought last night, it just looked like a team that's played together, a team that's practiced together. These routines have been worked on, and fitness and sharpness is getting there now in a way that... And they weren't playing against the type of, as I say, unique challenges they faced so far this season. I'm sure we will come on and talk about the weekend's game. But I think Liverpool have probably had the most difficult opening 4 fixtures in the league that they could have anticipated.
Plus Atletico Madrid.
Plus then playing Atletico Madrid.
Plus having a load of new players to bed in as well. It's all of that together. There's a lot of context to why it's been tricky.
It ends up with the captain doing the sort of thing that he's desperate to do. It's a brilliant header. But I just think the Atletico Madrid points for me, I feel a little bit like they need to have a good long think about whether or not they want to play in a way at 2-2 where it allows not Virgil van Dijk to get on the end of a header from a corner, but Virgil van Dijk to run the game 30 metres from their goal. If you're not going to carry a threat at 2-2, then what's going to happen is you're going to fall in on yourself, and then suddenly your problem isn't so much what it ends up actually doing them in, it's that Virgil's just dictating play. Because that's how good he is. It isn't just he wins a header. It isn't just that he defends brilliantly. It's that he can run a match as well.
It's a fucking header from about 15 yards out, by the way. It wasn't like 6-yard nod.
No, and it's really clever movement as well. Though he gets a yard on the defender, gives him a little shove. It's proper centre forward behaviour from him.
But he was brilliant all game again.
I've run out of superlatives to describe the man. I mean, he can do absolutely everything. He's the finest defender in the world right now. We're so lucky to have him. And last night, you see it. He's absolutely everywhere. He's dominant in the air. He's so
played better.
He's so aggressive. He's never played better. He constantly ups himself. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
I think he's grown into the captaincy as well in a way that you see him on media duties now. So like last night he did some mix zone stuff. I think Mo got a question off him, and he just seems he's almost like laughing at journalists when they're asking him. This is not about Mo, by the way, but journalists are asking him silly questions. And he just buzzes off them. He's completely in his own skin.
TNT BT asked him one about there's an issue with the defence, and he went no.
That's the one I heard. Yeah. He just went no, and she was waiting for some more, and he was like, there is no more.
That's sorted out.
Like players are normally media training into life. So all the standard stuff. It's all about the team and all these tropes that they like. He's just uniquely himself all the time.
It'd be a shame if there's not a great manager in there, I have to say, because he's central casting great manager, isn't he? I obviously it takes many more things than that, but if you're doing a movie of a great
the problem you have is
manager,
that essential casting of a great anything.
Yeah.
There's no end to the list of things that he could end up suddenly pop up. Great hitman.
You said the words out. If you were about to make his program a great hitman, you'd funny.
Yeah, he's in a Marvel movie.
He's got you name it. He's absolutely got it top to bottom.
There's a film about a president, a fictional president.
He's sorting that out as well. Listen, this is Friday night. We are with Erdinger. We are in the Red Lion. It's an absolute pleasure. Blues to come.
And Erdinger, please.
Stop! Don't forget the best bit.
It is Friday night. We are in the Red Line with our friends at Erdinger. It is a pleasure. And we are going to move forward and we're going to talk about Liverpool versus Everton. It's a funny one, this. I'll go to you first, John, because I'd have loved to see Bramley Moore in the first half of the season. The Hill Dickinson. It is something which genuinely we haven't got to go there yet. It's a shame it's going to be that late, because you just want to sort of get to experience something new in the city. This all sounds like I'm being sarcastic, I'm not. Because what I'm about to say is, I've now made up it's at home. Off the back of the midweek game that we've just had, I've now made up that it's at home, this one, because whilst I think it'll be tough against Everton full stop, it would be even tougher if we were going to their place.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. I would also like to have gone there early for probably different reasons. I just know whilst the first game was a spectacle and a real event, I think for habitual matchgoers, they're not quite in the routine yet, and I still don't think they know how to inhabit and how to use that stadium to support them. And I fear that maybe by April, a lot of that'll all be ironed out. That'll all be ironed out a little bit, and they'll have established a bit more of a match day routine, and how do we behave in this new space might be less of a question. That's a genuine thing. But I also think that where we are,
I've had his first booze by then. How we behave in the space.
Boo. But looking at their start to the season, and I think they're on 7 points on there. I think
2 wins and a draw.
Yeah. So which is creditable, and I think. I don't know where they put them in the table, 7th?
6th or 7th.
Yeah. So they will be looking at this game thinking, not quite it's a 6 points, I don't think, but they could bloody our nose, they could stop our tracks. They'd be looking at a Liverpool team who have to say we've not been convincing is not fair, because in some of those games we've been very convincing. We've just maybe like last week, for example, we really struggled to break them down, but we absolutely schooled that Burnley team. But I think they'll sense that there's a chance against Liverpool this week. But I think if we look at the relative oppositions, who they've played, who we've played, they laboured against quite a few teams this season, even when they've won. Wolves. Wolves is a good example. They were beaten. They beat Brighton somewhat comfortably on paper 2-0. But I think XG was kind of 2.5 goals in favour of Brighton. Brighton had some real hard lines against them. They lost opening game of the season against Leeds. So you would imagine that if you were to look at who we've played and our relative strength against theirs, I think this could open itself up. Isak availability, Viet coming into his own. This team starting to cook a little bit more than perhaps it has done in the previous few weeks. It could almost be a perfect game for us if things go our way.
It could be, but they're enjoying themselves. They are enjoying the new stadium, James, and I think they're enjoying the 3 behind the 1. And what I mean is, I think they think that Beto and Barry, they're willing. And Barry, he's a young lad, so he could go on. He's physically imposing. But what they're enjoying more than anything else is Grealish on one flank and Dijk on the other flank and Dewsbury Hall in behind. It isn't just Grealish, it's that Grealish has got good players around him. And I think that's what they're enjoying. And you know, fair play, you know, I think for too long, it's felt as though a lot of the Blues, as they're going through the match, everything's a bit of a slog. Whereas at the minute they have took the opportunity to enjoy the football and they're getting to watch good footballers.
Well, they've had no excitement as far as I can tell for the longest time. But I've watched a few of their sort of highlight reels and stuff, and that Dewsbury Hall lad, I really like him.
He's a good player.
I think he's really, really good. And Grealish, I mean, you know, whether you love him or hate him, I mean, he's really hit the ground running, I think. And that'll be the big threat. But then equally, our midfield, to go back to what we were talking about in the first part of the show, that midfield is so solid and so resolute that I just think we can dominate that midfield, and I just don't see a world where, unless we do something fucking catastrophic, I just can't see a world where they score. I really, really can't. I genuinely.
Liverpool conceded 2 a fair bit, James.
I know, but I genuinely think, go back to what you were saying as well, is that we've started to take little steps forward. The Atletico Madrid game is a big step forward. You can see a little bit more of a togetherness and a little bit more understanding with all these new players. And I just think that with the midfield, with Isak, with Ekitike coming into some really good form, Wirtz, Frimpong, I just can't see a world where they score.
I think it's about pinning them back and dominating it that way, Rob. For me, you can have Dijk, you can have Grealish, you can have Dewsbury Hall, but if they're 70 yards from your goal when they get on the ball, then that's the best way to deal with them. They won't always be. Liverpool will have to defend in the game because that's the way football is. You don't get to dominate any game for 100 minutes, which is what you need to do. But I think that Liverpool's plan has got to be keep Everton in their own half as much as humanly possible and just stretch them.
Yeah, you feel we've got a quality of player now that they should really have respectful disrespect for a team of Everton's level, quite frankly. I mean, we can come on stock against them because it's a derby. But if you don't give them encouragement, they should be dispatched to me. I'm not overly nervous about it. I'll never be cocky enough in any game really in the Premier League or Champions League to go, we're definitely winning this one, right? I can't see anything but the 4-0. But I'm not nervous about this like I would be a derby. I think if we were going to Goodison or even going to the Hill Dickinson now, would be, okay, it's an away game. I don't see it as something special, this particular fixture. I don't know why. My instinct is this.
Well, you were like that last season and the season before as well. You've shifted
I've
a little
got
bit.
a bit more sanguine.
You're very nervous about away derbies, but you're really quite sanguine about home ones now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because we've built a track record now. I mean, when did we, I don't want to tempt fate, but when did we not beat them at home?
Well, if you don't count the COVID season, it's some time back. I think it's going back to sort of 2018 then, for the last time they got a draw.
Yeah, okay, they're not thrashing, so last season's was a sweat. They don't really lay a glove on us in those, and even when we've been playing badly, which was the season playing badly, the one where I think Gakpo scores for us and De Salah scores as well, but we win 2-0 I think that night in 23 in the spring, somewhere like that. And even then we seem to. It's interesting, what will Moyes do? They're not going to be overly ambitious, but they've got a little bit more quality now. So
well, I think it's hard for Moyes. I think this is what Moyes doesn't like. James, of course, you on it. I think it's what Moyes doesn't like. I don't think in a really weird way, if it was just to set up to frustrate and stifle, then fine. But the feeling that he has got players to be expansive is often where he can't quite work out, well, where do I put the line? What's our aim? Where do we hitch on? What's the whole thing going to be? Is where I think one of the reasons why I think Moyes has historically come unstuck against the bigger clubs away is he doesn't know whether or not should we just go for this and let everything fall where it may, or do we sit in, or do we do a bit of both? And then that's why I've got, you know, in a bit of a way, in terms of the quality of the contest, I feel I'm almost happier with an Everton that backs itself to play some football, because
I think that's his instinct actually. I think he's actually a much more sort of progressive, forward-thinking manager than I think he gets the respect for. I think his instinct is to go for teams and is to play a bit of free-flowing football. Christ. But equally, when you're going away at Anfield, and you know Rob references the track record, like you're not expecting to get anything out of it, so you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't suddenly tell, you know, for the first time in a long time, they've got some really good attacking talent there. They've got some really quick lads.
So it's hard to tell them.
So yeah, what you're supposed to do? No.
Ask Grealish to defend his box. He's not done that at City for years.
Exactly. So I think it's quite a complicated message, I think, that he has to try and get across to his players, on top of playing at Anfield when we were unbeaten in the league.
Moyes' record at Anfield's not amazing.
No, it's not.
And regardless of which club he's been with, I think he's probably got a better record at places like Old Trafford, thinking about it without checking the numbers. I just think it was really nice to see Mohamed Salah back to something close to his best again last night. And you've got...
Yeah, he looked like Mo again. He looked beginning to get a little bit worried in his first few games.
More as well, which was...
Yeah.
So you've got him, you've got Alexander Isak, you've got Ekitike.
The Isak question's pretty interesting, because if you the manager's comments before in the run into the Atletico game after Burnley were, we can give him 45 plus minutes, he said. Don't expect that anyone thinks that's going to happen against Atletico and Everton is mistaken, right? It's one or the other. The implication was he's treating it like pre-season, and you'll play one, and then the rest and the training will be important. So I thought, if he picks him tonight against Atletico last night, we're not going to see him Everton. But he then went and said something after the game.
Yeah.
He went, nobody should expect 90 minutes from him. And I went, oh,
you're moving the goalposts.
I would be delighted to see him warming up at 60 to come on.
I think so. I don't think he'll start him.
And you can imagine, even if they've managed to keep us at arm's length for an hour, and we suddenly bring him on.
It's a terrifying prospect.
Come on! Give us
I'd like to see him and Ekitike on the pitch at the same time, I must admit, but I think that's asking too much at this stage.
But look, we've invested well. I think everyone's comfortable that we've invested well, and Liverpool should have enough to best this team. Mildly concerned. I think you said something a couple of days ago, Neil, about kind of not many teams put 4, 5, 6 winning.
Well, the thing I'm not saying here, but I can say, is that last season when we won the league, we didn't win 5 consecutive league games at any point.
Did we not?
No, only 2 teams did last season, got 5 or more, and it was Newcastle and Wolves. There's a quiz question. And Newcastle and Wolves were the 2 teams that managed to get 5 plus wins in the league.
Have you seen that kid who's not going to cut his hair so United to get 5 games?
It's amazing.
When I heard your stat, I immediately thought of him.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know what he's going to have to. That kid's, I've only just heard about this in the last week, and I've now seen a picture of him.
Amazing.
And he's going to have to dial it down. He's either going to have to say 2 games or 3.
Yeah.
Because genuinely, like United's called last season, Liverpool won a title and didn't at any point win 5 consecutive league games.
Yeah.
So if he's going to run around and say he's not going to do that, then he's going to be the hairiest man in the world.
I like things like, you see those pictures like, I think Indian yogis from years with like fingernails,
big long
like hair to the floor. That guy.
He's going to have to start carrying it in some sort of
armpit hair there.
I just hope he's making loads of TikTok though out of it, because there's no other reason to do it, is there?
No, honestly, this is not the time to become Rapunzel.
I think that how many you can win on the trot, I've often thought you do need a little bit of luck of the draw. Normally it's you need luck of the draw and you need one big win in the middle of it that you couldn't have counted on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you give that unlocks the run.
If you'd chosen this block of games for the overview rather than what you'd done with the international break, I don't think many people would have been saying 100% record.
No one would have been saying 15. No one would have said 15.
No. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Somebody might have done that at hubris, but nobody would have thought it mega seriously. I got laughed at for saying 9 in the first 3.
Yeah, and now we find ourselves
I
on the
was thinking 9 in the first 3 was greedy.
Exactly.
I think it's greedy.
So we're on the verge, and I think Rob, just in general, on it in an overview-ish sort of way. By the way, do subscribe to the Anfield Wrap, but an overview-ish sort of way. The one thing I would say is if Liverpool do beat Everton, what it does the whole weekend with Arsenal playing City on the Sunday, it is enormous. Like the ramifications of that, because firstly there becomes no bad outcome in that game. But there is a world where, for instance, if City win, then Liverpool have got themselves 6 points on Arsenal and City, and there's only 5 games gone. That is, and you're right to laugh excitedly. That is what, but we've got to do our bit first. The scoreboard pressure, I think we changed that game. I think if we drop points, I think it becomes a different contest, Arsenal versus City. I think if we beat Everton, the scoreboard pressure on City and on Arsenal is absolutely enormous.
If we don't beat Everton, I think what you're saying is there's a chance that they at 70-0 they deal.
Yeah.
Right? They both go, draw, we're okay, we're not knocking each other out. But, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, apart from the scoreboard pressure, the chance to enjoy, is it Sunday there again?
Yeah, half
the part
4.
to enjoy. If we don't get the win, I'm not going near that game, quite frankly. I don't think I'll pick myself up off the floor really to enjoy that game, but if we do win, honestly, it's going to be like the best game ever, that Arsenal City. I don't...
We'll go meet them.
On balance, if there's a winner, we're saying we'd want City to win that game, yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously.
On balance.
Yeah.
On
I
balance.
think we're celebrating quietly the draw.
But all three outcomes are okay, aren't they?
all
if
three
we've won-
outcomes have something.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody.
If we've won, I think if we haven't won, then I think I probably do want a City win even more because I want to keep the gap at the top of the table as much as humanly possible.
So if we win tomorrow, why don't we all jump on a train to Edinburgh on Sunday morning?
That's where we watched the fixture last year.
That's where we watched it last year.
Yeah, we watched the fixture. Well, it was the other way around. It was City. It was at City's ground, but we had a wonderful time.
We had a wonderful time.
Kecks off by tea time.
What was the score at the Etihad?
The ETL is 2. It was the 2-2 where Haaland bounced
Bounced the ball off his head.
the back of the lad's head.
Which is quite funny.
It'll be full of bad temperness. Listen, thank you very much. It's been Friday night. We're with Erdinger. We are in the fabulous Red Line. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much to Rob, to James, and to John. Whatever you're doing, enjoy the Merseyside derby. But the only way to enjoy the Merseyside derby is to win it.